Well, welcome everybody to another episode of Low Key S.M.E. I'm here with a very special guest, someone that I have looked up to and kind of admire, PA announcer for the Denver Nuggets, Kyle Speller. So again, I just want to thank you, Kyle, for taking the time out to hop on. I know your schedule's got to be probably pretty busy. In fact, I even just heard you on the TV last night through the ESPN broadcast. So
that victory, we got the victory.
Huge win against the Lakers. So just want to get started. If you could give a brief introduction of yourself, whatever information you want to share or what you feel necessary, just to kind of give the audience an idea of who you are.
My name is Kyle Speller. I'm the public address announcer for your Denver Nuggets, and this is my 16th season doing it. I also serve as the team chaplain as well. It's my, I want to say 14th season serving as a chaplain too. Been at it. I grew up here in Denver. I'm originally from New York, but I grew up here in Denver, and I've been a Nuggets fan ever since like the 5th grade. Alex English came to one of my basketball banquets. I played basketball and all through school and everything, and met him then, and that was when I became a fan of the Nuggets. That was when I was really introduced to the Nuggets. And then also had another interaction with Wayne Cooper back in the day too. And he actually kind of poured into my life. He was connected to the church that I was a part of at that time too. And so, been a Nuggets fan ever since then. And I've seen a lot of the glory days and some of the dark days as well.
Right.
And so, honored to be able to serve in this capacity is definitely a dream come true. And I don't take for granted any day, any game at all. I'm so appreciative that I get to be one of 30 people in the world is the way I look at it. And so for me, it's an honor and I'm just so grateful. And so.
Awesome. Yeah. So with, myself recently graduating, I'm always curious, like, what's your college background look like? And maybe just like right out of school, what did that look like? Were you, what did you study? Were you a part of any organizations that got you to where you are today?
Yeah, so my undergrad degree is from Adams State. It was Adams State College back when I graduated there, class 3. It's Adams State University now, but my degree is in broadcast journalism. It was in English with an emphasis in broadcast journalism, and I always had that kind of a dream of going into radio and television, and I was also introduced to the voiceover world at that time in college, as well as I had to create reels. There's no such thing as reels nowadays, but I had to create my own reels and do my own voiceovers for my radio show and whatnot. And so I was kind of introduced to it then. And then from there, once I graduated there, my life took a total different direction. I went into full-time ministry. I played basketball at Adams, and one of the honors I received upon graduation was for the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. I was kind of their Colorado Player of the Year, and they also at that point in time of when I graduated just offered me a full-time position there. And so I went in that kind of direction of full-time ministry, and I still serve in ministry today. As I mentioned, I'm the team chaplain. I'm also an associate pastor at my church, Emmanuel Christian Center here in Denver, and had just been moving along. But as a basketball player, one of the things for me is I always had the dream of playing professionally. And so I grew up as a kid. I was a Nuggets fan, but I was also a Showtime Lakers fan. I wore number 33 for Kareem and all of that. And as a kid, if you're playing basketball or whatever you're doing, a lot of times you have the dreams of and aspirations of going pro. And so for me, that was always my dream. So I played through high school, played through college, and no doors had opened or anything like that for me in the basketball world. And then long story short, a door finally did open, and I wound up being able to be a rookie free agent with the Nuggets back in 1999.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and so that was a dream that I was hoping that it would open, but it didn't. So I was released, but I still had the dream of being in the NBA. And for me, that dream, turned into a different direction as well. And I knew I had a voice for things. I knew I was interested in voiceover. And also growing up, there was this one famous player, you may have heard of him, by the name of Michael Jordan, that was out there. And I think everybody was a Jordan fan at that point in time. And
Right.
the one thing for me that I always loved about those Chicago Bulls games was the introductions. And there was a guy by the name of Ray Clay that would do the "and now you're Chicago," and I would, from North Carolina, and I would imitate him, but I would always get like goosebumps, every time he would do that. And I would think to myself, at that point in time, man, I would love to do that for the Nuggets someday if that opportunity ever came available. And so just kind of tying things together, when I was at that in the rookie free agent camp, I also met a guy by the name of Tommy Shepard, who he's no longer with the Nuggets. He's with the actual Washington Wizards now. But just stayed in communication with him. And I threw it out at that point, hey, this didn't work out. But, if there's ever an opportunity to be the PA announcer, I would love to be a part of that. And so, I don't know, I think some kind of way he gave me a name, Sean Martinez, at that point in time. And I started reaching out to him. Never heard anything back, never heard anything back. And so, but being a Nuggets fan, I was always on the website, and then just one day I saw this title. It just said, "Grab your microphones." And I was like, oh, what is this? And it was an open audition to be the PA announcer. And so for me, I had been doing it in my head for years. I knew exactly how I would do it if I ever had the opportunity. And so the instructions were, if you were the public address announcer, how would you do the player introductions? And so record it and send it in. I went into the studio, literally 5 minutes is all it took me. Recorded it, I sent it in, and then I heard from Sean Martinez he reached out and he said basically that mine was the only one that they liked out of all that they had received. And they brought me in. I kind of had a couple of kind of on the job tryouts at the Nuggets blue and white scrimmage down at the Air Force Academy, and then the first preseason home game against the New Orleans Hornets at that time.
That point.
And I found out I got the job from a guy that was at the Rocky Mountain News at that point in time when that paper was still going. And he just came over to me and he said, "Hey, are you the new public address announcer?" And my boss at that point in time, Harlan, was sitting next to me. And he told him, "Yeah, this is our guy." And that's how I found out I got the job and been there ever since. So it was a door that I always just say God opened that door for me. And, it was something I had prayed about and God opened the door and he was faithful. And it was just, an amazing experience.
Yeah, that's awesome. Because as a Nuggets fan growing up myself, just like hearing your story of everything coming full circle, like you're right, like that is the dream. Like that's incredible. And I feel kind of, privileged to be able to listen to you and like the Allen Roaches down at Ball Arena. Because I feel like you, unbiased opinion, you guys are two of the best in the business because I've been to other, stadiums. And I don't know, I'm just used to hearing your guys call, and it gets me hyped every game. And so I just want to say that you guys do a great job. It's incredible.
Awesome. Well, that's an honor because I say, without to be in the same kind of sentence with Alan Roach, for me, I like one day when I grow up, I want to be like Alan Roach. So
right.
Yeah, he does an awesome job. And I've had the opportunity to meet with him and whatnot as well. And of course, we just heard him just most recently at the Super Bowl. He owns the Super Bowl. And so
I kind of wanted to transition into something real quick. So it's probably a little different with coronavirus going on, but what does, like a normal game day kind of look like in your life getting prepared for a home game?
Mm-hmm. Well, for me, by day I'm working from home, and so I'm here. I pretty much I'll go to the grocery store, and I go. We have to get COVID tested twice before every game. So for me, because I'm down there on the court, I have to get tested 72 hours and 24 hours before every game, and so those are pretty much the only times I'm out of the house. And so I actually look forward to going down there to the arena. The only thing don't look forward to is just the fact that the fans aren't there. I definitely miss the fans and the engagement and the interactions that are there. And, we're like a big family for some of us that, there's been some fans that have been there for years and even before I got there.
Yeah.
I just miss seeing those folks and can't wait to see them again. And, game day for me it's just kind of wrapping up everything I'm doing here, and then just kind of get ready and head down. And last night it was, Valentine's Day, so that was I was actually waking up from a little afternoon nap to late. Our game was originally scheduled earlier, but it became a national TV game, so
right.
They scheduled it for later, an 8:00 start, and so I was like, oh, okay. But and it was super cold, of course, yesterday.
Oh yeah.
I was glad it was cold because those Lakers are so used to, that warmer climate.
Right.
Yeah. So we had to give them a warm Colorado welcome, just a special treat for them.
Exactly.
But I get down to the arena now, and everything is just, I think probably the best part of it is there's no traffic. There's no traffic in or out. So, I still get at a decent hour because I don't have to spend an hour waiting to get out of the parking lot. But you go in and go through security and we have certain protocols as well we've got to go through. We got to fill out our COVID questionnaires, and you have to receive, approval on a daily basis to be able to enter into the arena. And once you get in, masks are on and all, and we're still just kind of taking as many safety precautions as possible. We're kept separate from the player area and whatnot. And I just make my way over to my seat, my station there, and just kind of prepare for the game, prepare my rosters and all of that. Since I'm not doing a bunch of public service announcements or promos, and there's no, entertainment stuff going on, there's not a lot of preparation that has to be done at this point in time because, during normal times, there's a lot of scripts that I'm reading and a lot of, just different fan engagement interactions that we've got planned out and all of that. But right now it's just really calling the game, which is, it's okay as well.
So my next question with that is kind of something you just touched on is your goal for each game. Like, do you set one maybe to, reach the fans with that fan engagement? Because at least from my experience, like I've already told you, like I look forward to going to Nuggets games so I can hear Gary, everything. And, I actually work retail at the arena right now. Obviously, we haven't been there for a year now, but my coworkers can attest to this. Like when I hear your voice or whatever, it hypes me up. Even just working in the store.
That's awesome. That's my goal, and it still kind of is, because I know that, for those fans that can tune in, whether it's on the radio or on TV, they may still catch a glimpse of some of that, on the broadcast. And it's just it's me trying to still reach out and let them know we're still here and we're still connected. And just kind of want folks to know, can't wait till we get back. I've got some things I've been planning for when folks are coming back, and I can't wait to throw those in, because for me, so like some of my greatest calls are the ones that are the fan engagement ones where there's call and response. I love those. And I actually got that from Alan Roach, and he started that at Mile High Stadium. And I don't know what we call our stadium now. Empower Field now.
Empower.
A lot of name transitions, but the whole, I'm a Bronco fan too. And, going to those games and, whatever whoever's pass is, and we know it's in.
Yeah, exactly.
And so that was where I got the idea of, hey, I want to bring that to the arena, ball arena now, but I wanted to always bring that type of thing. And so I've been able to do that with several different things that we do. And so, like I said, I've got a couple that I just got it. And so I just can't wait to try them out.
Yeah, definitely. My next question would feed off that as well. How much does social media and kind of current trends going on feed into what you call, because I don't know if you can see, but I'm wearing my Mike shirt.
Yeah.
And that was a huge thing across Twitter. And then you have, I think I heard one game where you yelled cookies when Jokic is, getting a steal. So how much does, I guess, what's going on kind of determine what you're going to plan out for the games?
Absolutely. It all influences. I mean, just anything Nuggets can be an influence. I'll just say it like that. And so for me, those are two great examples. I was on Twitter and I saw this Mike, and I was figuring out what the heck is Mike about. And I was like trying to go back in the archive. Did he like say Mike for himself or something like that? And so I caught Katie Wingy, some of her interaction with it. And so I was like, oh, okay. And so I was like, oh, I got to do that at some point. And I just waited for the opportunity to do it. And I figured, so that for me, it's like I say, okay, there are different times where I'll do it. If he's dunking, I'm there. I don't know. A lot of times, a lot of what I'm doing is pretty much organic. There's certain things that become habit because it's something that I can tell people like, or it feels good for me or whatever, or I like it, and I'll just do it. The Cookie Monster, first of all, for me, Cookie Monster is like, I don't know what it is. When you talk about Cookie Monster, it just makes me happy inside. Cookie Monster was my favorite Sesame Street character of all time, my favorite Muppet or puppet or whatever. I love Cookie Monster. When I see him on the commercials to this day, and I see Cookie, I just smile. Like I get giddy. It takes me to childhood or something. And so when he said that, of course I had to throw out Cookie Monster. And so, but I mean, the way Nikola was talking about, referring to it, he's talking about when he's stealing, he's getting steals. I don't make calls for steals. It's kind of like rubbing it in or whatever. I mean, it's just, it's unnecessary, and it's just not, there's no reason to make a call for a steal. So I figure, what's the next best thing? And, something that's, kind of rare. It's not actually rare. It's becoming more of a norm for Nikola as he's been working on his athleticism. Is he's been getting some pretty big dunks sometimes. And so when he gets a big dunk, a nasty one, for me, that's the opportunity to say cookies. No. and so, but as with everything else in social media and all that, some things will fade away. It's cute, some of it in that moment, but it may get old. And there's some things that stick for a while and stay around for a while. Some things get old and you let it go. But anything Nuggets, it can be an influence at any point in time. And so something I found that's pretty cool, like social media wise, is people have been reaching out saying, hey, can you say this? Hey, can you say that? And so if it's something that I think can work, I'll give it a shot. But if not, then I probably won't.
That's awesome to take, into consideration the fans, because that is your ultimate job, is
it's just connecting
experience. Yeah,
we're all one big family. So that's the way I see it.
One thing I wanted to ask, I don't know how much you can expand on it. You were part of the NBA bubble. Is there anything that you can share about that experience? Obviously, you don't have to go into too much detail if there's certain aspects that are confidential and whatnot, but because you were one of 4 PA announcers invited?
Yeah. I mean, that was, I'm just kind of speechless about it. It was just a great honor to be a part of that. I'll never forget it. It's like one of those where you because of the circumstances, you hope that it doesn't have to happen again.
Right.
Man, it was so awesome to be a part of that, because I was able to meet all kinds of people in the NBA body as a whole that I just was never exposed to, just being here, and people all over the country. And we were all able to come together, and the way the NBA took care of us, it was just incredible. And so and then there again too, where I say, I'm one of 30 people that get to do this job. Then I got to be one of 4 people, which blew me away even more. But then on top of that, I got to be one of 2 people, because there were only 2 of us that were asked to stay the entire time. And then on top of that, I got to be the first announcer to open up the bubble. I called the very first game, as well as I wound up calling the very last game. So I got to open it up and close it down. And
that's so awesome.
Yeah. And I'm like, me of all people, that's where I say that was only something that God could do. You can't explain that. For me, something back, to one of the original questions that you asked, my pathway to PA announcing really was that, it was something that I wanted to do, and that I thought I could do, and something I prayed and asked God for that opportunity to do. And so, but I wasn't a PA announcer for a high school team or for a college team or anything like that. My training ground, actually, one of the things I used to do was play on another basketball team, and we would travel around the state of Colorado, and we would play against the prisons. And so I loved it. It was fun basketball, because there was like some really good players in prison. Yeah. And so it was great competition. And so one of the things that I would do, just to kind of, lighten the mood and just kind of love on the guys that, that were in there, is just, I would do the introductions in prison. So little did I know, that was kind of God's way of preparing me for what I'm doing now. Doing introductions all over those prisons to translate as well. And so that's where I say, for me to be the last announcer standing in the bubble, just seeing how God worked that out, I can't take credit for any of that. And so, but it's just an honor. It was an honor to be a part of that. Made so many relationships and so many friendships that, it was just amazing. And just all of it, players, officials, NBA executives, we were all there, and it just became like one big family. And so we're just all kind of connected through that experience. And even last night, I was talking to the guys from the Lakers that, there were games where I have to call Laker home games. And so we, developed lots of different relationships with, all the different players that were there. And it was just amazing. And I was just, like I said, so appreciative to be a part of that.
No, yeah, I was going to ask, how was that calling other teams' games? Was it weird?
It was fun, because there's so many players. Yeah, I love the game of basketball.
Yeah.
And, there's a lot of times you have the question of, well, if so-and-so was on my team, how would I announce his name? Well, I got to do that. and then, it's like something that I can kind of like add to my proverbial basketball announcing resume, is I got to be the PA announcer for 22 different NBA teams. You guys could say that, and so it was fun to be able to do that. And for me, my approach that I took, it was like, I just wanted to make sure that all the guys that were there, all the teams that were there, if I was their announcer, that they felt the love, and that they were encouraged and supported and fired up, as best that I could do and for them. And I gave everybody my best. And in those moments, whenever I was whatever team, when I was Miami's announcer, I was their announcer. And so I was all in for Miami. When I was the Celtics announcer, I was all in for the Celtics. When I was the Lakers announcer, no, I wasn't all in. But everybody but the Lakers. Not just kidding. But no, even in that moment when I had announced their games, I went all in for the Lakers too. It's just the way they had it set up. I never had to announce against the Nuggets, and so that was a blessing there.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
And so I was able to just do that and do it wholeheartedly and give it my all. And so it was, that was awesome. And so yeah, awkward. The only thing that was I got tripped up one time is where I think I was calling. I called the San Antonio Spurs game, I believe it was. And then we had so many games that were like back to back. We were like doing at the beginning 2 games a day and all of that, and quick turnaround. So the next day you could be doing the same team, but against them. And so that happened with I think it was San Antonio. I was their home announcer and I was all in for them. And then like the next day or so, I was the Utah Jazz announcer, but they were playing the Spurs. And so like at the very beginning of the game, somebody from the Spurs shot a 3, knocked it down. And I was like, yeah. And then I caught myself. And then the guys from Utah, they were like banging on the glass. They were like, you're our announcer. And so up on that as well. But it was just a great time.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. Well, congratulations on that, because that, like you said, 1 of 4, and then to be the last one standing. Like, I think you may not think it, but I think that's a testament to have just how great you are at what you do. Like I said, I'll have my pickup games or my league games, and we'll be on the bench just yelling, yeah, and getting each other hyped, because that's just what we grew up hearing. 2 more things, and then I'll let you go. You mentioned that you didn't really have a I guess gig in PA announcing throughout college. Do you have any advice for anyone that maybe wants to get into it but thinks it's too late, or maybe just an alleyway on how to get started with that?
For me, it's never too late. I'm a man of faith, and so if you ask God for an opportunity, trust Him, and it may not come the way you expect for it to come. It may come some kind of different route. If I would have planned to do this, how would that plan I couldn't have planned the path that it took me to get here. I couldn't have planned that at all. And so, but you can be prepared. And by preparing, you can volunteer at different places. For me, the prisons, that was just, I wasn't paid to do that. I was just all volunteer, and I was just doing it from the love of my heart and doing it that way. You just continue to prepare. Maybe there's a high school that you can, you are a part of, that you hear what they have to offer, and maybe they don't have someone that's doing it. Maybe they've got someone in place that's doing it that really doesn't care about it or anything like that. They're just doing it half-heartedly, but you want to bring that fire to it. Maybe that's an opportunity to step out in that moment and do it there. And then you just never know, it can lead to the next thing. But always be preparing. If you want to do something, faith without works is dead. And so you've got to take steps of faith, take whatever kind of steps of faith to jump out there, to prepare. I heard an analogy of something about, the farmer doesn't wait for rain to plant seed. They plant the seed or something in advance, and they trust that the rain is going to come. And do it like that. So begin to plant those seeds now, whether it's standing at home practicing in the mirror, or sitting at home and watching TV games, and practicing there. And then you get an opportunity to go and, I don't know, do a rec league game and bring your own personal system and just do it just for fun, because I'm screwing around. But, you never know who's on the other side of the team that may have some kind of opportunity. You just never know. But just kind of always be preparing and believe it, see it, visualize it, envision it, and go for it and do it like that.
All right. One more question just popped up. Um,
Mhm.
do you have your own favorite PA announcer in the NBA or someone that you just enjoy their calls? Because someone that comes to mind for me, at least within like recent history, is I don't know his name, but the Knicks announcer when he's Carmelo Anthony, just kind of. Is there
Uh-huh.
anyone that stands out to you that you like, enjoy listening
Uh-huh.
to?
Well, I mean, as an announcer, I don't really get to hear a lot because it's just kind of the way, just the way it is. The systems are set up and they're not like tuned into a lot of them. But, when I first started as well, a part of my audition, it was uh, a part of where I got the inspiration for the way I auditioned was this is during the time when Chauncey Billups was playing for the Detroit Pistons. And so their PA announcer, Mason, he would do the Chauncey Billups. And I love that. And that was what I did in when I submitted my audition, I did that with Earl Boykins, his name. I said, Earl Boykins. And and so I would love to listen to him now. Detroit's been struggling and they're not on national TV, so you don't really get to hear them a whole lot now. But no, there's none of them that are really that I'm really like paying attention to in that manner at this point. The guys that I just recently met, in the bubble that I worked with, I became really good friends with Olivier. He's the Brooklyn Nets announcer. And then there's Tim and Eric. Those were Tim. He was with the Pacers, but now he's the Bulls announcer. He just got that gig. And actually, in interacting with Tim, I just I like the thing about him I like is how he's gone about kind of marketing himself. And so he's transitioned from the Pacers to now he's a Chicago Bulls announcer, but he's also the Illinois Fighting Illini announcer, and he's also took the job as a Chicago Bears announcer. And so he's done a great job in that way. But I think, the one announcer that I kind of look up to the most is Alan Roach. And so at this point, because he's kind of the one that to me has set the bar.
Oh, yeah.
And, when you're watching the Olympics, there's Alan Roach. When you're watching the Super Bowl, there's Alan Roach. And, those are great milestones for me. I was just always looking for different, that's kind of, I would love to be the voice of, don't know what it is, but
Yeah.
just love to be the voice of, some great introduction at some point, and always looking for those whatever doors to open up. I just and the thing for me is the same thing I was just sharing. For me is to continue to prepare, visualize, and be ready, for whenever some doors like that open. Another name I'll throw out too is Michael Buffer. The Let's Get Ready to Rumble.
Yeah.
The fact that, every time he makes that statement, there's dollar signs on that one. And you can't use that, he's trademarked that phrase. And it's just like next level thinking when it comes to announcing. And so those guys have, those are, like I said, those are the individuals that have kind of set the bar for me.
All right. Well, I'm going to be anticipating whenever the time comes a Z Kanaji introduction after the way he played last night. He looks like so.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. That's the thing when there's players that show up. I try to think of things, and I try to, I like to look at their reactions and just their interaction. Like Faku last night, he walked by the table and of course I say when he knocks down a three, I'll say it in Spanish, for him. And I did that for and guys like that. But he really I could tell he really likes it because he walked by the table last night and he's like, uno, dos, tres. Yeah, okay, we're rolling with that, and yes, he had a great game last night. So I don't know what'll come out. Something will come up with him, and because I think he's got a bright future with us, and we'll see. So somebody may send me something social. Yeah, you never know. Who knows? But a lot of times it's just something that just flows out, and in that moment, it just sticks, and kind of go from there.
All right. So to end it for Nuggets Nation, can we just get a yeah? I've been dying. Can we get a yeah?
Yeah! Thank you so much, Sean. Make some noise.
Go! All right. Well, thank you for your time again. Oh, one thing I left out is at the end of every episode, I like to give you the opportunity to plug maybe like an organization or a cause or anything that you want to, maybe shout out that is important to you or you want to spread news about.
Oh, so, well, for me, I will always plug our church. But at this point in time, with the COVID situation and whatnot, a lot of churches are struggling at this point in time. And so, but our church, Emmanuel Christian Center in Aurora, is very, it's a passion of mine to be able to serve in that capacity. And so, always looking to support our church in that way. Something that's brand new as of today, I can finally officially announce it. I've been a part of. We've got a new radio show that we're hosting on. It's a new station called The Drop that's here in Denver. And it was just online, but as of today, officially, we are on the FM dial. We've got a transmission location of 104.7 FM. And so for me, Sunday mornings from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m., I've got a show called Gospel Jams. And it's just going to have fun with that. That's another dream come true. That one takes me back to Adams State. And so it's my first radio show since Adams State. And but always wanted to have this type of an opportunity, and I get to do it with my daughter, and my daughter is helping.
Oh, that's so awesome.
And so,
Awesome.
it's awesome. It's really awesome. So, yeah, just continue to move forward, and we'll see what God does next.
All right. Well, like I said, I appreciate the time. Thank you for setting some time aside with your probably busy schedule. It sounds like NBA in full swing. That has been another episode with my favorite PA announcer, Kyle Spell of the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah, Sean.
All right. Have a good day. Thank you for your time.
You too, man. God bless you. All right.